What you didn't see is when you pled not guilty and they said go upstairs and all that stuff, when you left the room they said, hey, sucker, sucker, there he goes.
Yeah, because well, I was in front of the judge, and the judge says, the prosecutor says, I read all your documents. He acknowledged receiving them. He says, I read them, and you got a lot of issues, but they need to be settled at trial. So you need to walk upstairs to the 5th floor and tell them you want a trial.
Because you raised the controversy.
Yeah, while my affidavit is what he was referring to.
Well, I'm just telling you, though, but what you did was you raised a controversy. It was right where they want to go. Because the attorneys make their money on controversy.
Okay.
That's why if you plead guilty, you can't be convicted because there's no controversy.
But we need to plead guilty to the facts.
Yeah.
Are those the facts that I would have contained in my affidavit that they have?
That you got to put into evidence.
Okay, so them having it isn't in evidence yet?
No.
Okay, so that's the, I got to get that either in verbally, on the record. Here it is. I have another copy, Your Honor, if you want it. I will plead guilty to these facts.
Contact the clerk of the court and say we need to hold an evidentiary hearing.
Okay.
I need to put evidence into the file.
When I mentioned that to the clerk, Tim was with me, they looked at us like we were crazy.
Well,
They
that's
said
okay.
they said there's no way to do that. And that's what the clerk said, that there's no such thing.
I said, really?
Absolutely, they told us. Tim was right there.
Say, well, bring the real clerk out here.
Okay, so we just got to get it in their face then.
Yeah, bring the real clerk out here, because obviously you don't know what you're doing.
Legal determination.
Yeah.
So probable cause hearing, legal determination, evidentiary hearing.
Yeah, it's an evidentiary hearing you wanted to put in because you wanted to put evidence into the file.
Because that's the problem where I have all this paperwork that I'm doing and I'm doing it. I'm starting to see it's pretty accurate what we've done. We're just not, somehow they're saying.
Yeah, you got to put it in front of them so they can see it. Because, you know, I've seen judges on the bench up there, you know, they'll open up the file and say, I don't see anything. They do. You ever see them do that? I don't see anything. Why? Because the judge can't see anything. There's nothing there for him to look at. Everything's over here with the clerk's file. Here's the judge's file. Here's the clerk's file. He opens up and says, I don't see anything.
Okay, so evidentiary hearing, that's when we can get it on the record and then.
Yeah.
Okay.
A couple of years ago, they were coming after me for a whole bunch of things, and I, you can imagine. But
Go figure.
so anyway, but what I did is I accepted it for value, and I put it back in, and then when I showed up at the courthouse the first time, they had it on the docket, it's a different file number. And they changed the file number on me. So I accepted that one for value.
Okay.
They changed it again. Every time they did it 6 times. There was 6 different files by the end of it.
Holy cow.
And eventually I pleaded guilty, and they sent me to jail for 2 weeks. But
Well, it's the same thing. You had not resolved the thing. You pleaded guilty prematurely.
okay,
Now, what a guilty plea like that is kind of like a plea bargain.
right. And the judge actually turned to me and said, big smile on his face, do you have anything to say before sentencing? Like he wanted me to do the allocution, I think he was leading me up to. But at that point I was so frazzled, I just said no.
Okay. You
Just a
could.
quick thing. What it appears to me then is, just as you were saying earlier, is that it's a mirror image. The guilties are actually innocent.
No, it's not innocent.
Okay, it's
But it means I will pay. I'll be responsible to settle this thing.
but in a person's mind, when in our mind is like guilty, and look in the mirror. God, am I guilty? Well, no, I'm not. It's just it's a reflection of of the truth.
Go right back to your New Testament again. What did Paul say? Paul said, for all have sinned